Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. What we're going to be going over today is our October subscription box. This was my first subscription box. I've never done one before and it was so much fun. This is Melanie with Fancy Tumblers doing her unboxing and showcasing all of the things that were included inside of this subscription box. This month we do different themes. One of the themes was Halloween, which you will see at a later video, and this theme is breast cancer awareness. Okay, so we were going to be making a breast cancer awareness fighter gnome, and in this subscription box all of the pieces are included to go ahead and make this cutie pie gnome. Okay, you have her shoes there and you have the little breast cancer ribbon on them, along with some other goodies. Okay, if you're interested in getting one of these boxes, all you have to do is become a subscriber and it will be available for you to purchase. I'm starting out with a 16-ounce wine tumbler from Tipsy Magnolia. I'm quite sure you can get these wine tumblers pretty much anywhere. I believe they're like 12-ounce, 15-ounce, or 16 that I have seen from different vendors. And I am taking some super sculpty oven baked clay and I'm going to be conditioning this clay, which just means that you are warming it up and you're making it a more pliable um, substance for you to work with. There are different ways you can do this. If you have a pasta press, you can do it by, rolling it out and putting it through your pasta press to kind of, condition it. I have a pasta press, but I did not think that it would be as tough as it was. But I just use my little rolling pin and I'm just continuing to take bits and pieces of this clay to kind of condition it and get it to where I need it to be. All right. And so what I'm going to be doing is creating the hat for the gnome. So in the kit, you receive a removable topper, which is of course the top of the hat, but we still need to make the brim, if you will. Okay, and although we are using a 16-ounce wine tumbler, you can use any tumbler, to be honest with you, for this. I looked at the circumference of the topper for this lid and it would work on one of the skinnier tumblers as well. I would just say that some of the vendors have raised lids, and the toppers that I'm making, they do not work with the raised lids. But if you have a flat acrylic lid, it should work pretty fine. Okay, so here I'm just taking my clay and I am just rolling it out, and I am still trying to get this to be a little bit pliable. And then once I have this rolled out, I'm going to take it and I'm going to add this to my tumbler. All right, it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. Okay, do not be afraid of clay. All right, here at Sculptistry Squad, we say that we're doing sculpting made easier. So although in the kit you receive all of the things, you don't have to sculpt the hands, you don't have to sculpt the nose, you don't have to sculpt the topper or the feet, but you do need to sculpt the brim. And the reason why I didn't create one, you know, one of the rings for the brim was so that, you could pretty much use this with any tumbler. Okay. And so you could, do this however you like. I am going to, put this on here and then try to measure out where the nose is going to be so that I can make sure that it's going to be a good fit. Okay, so I'm going to take my nose, I'm going to kind of just push it up underneath there, and then take my clay and I'm going to, you know, kind of position it to where it um, is stationary on my cup. It may take me a couple tries getting the hang of this, but you just want to get it to where you have it curved along your tumbler. You're going to remove your nose because these are made of a type of plastic. You cannot bake these, okay? So you're going to remove your nose, and you do not want to bake these, but you do have a good spot, you know, to know where your nose is going to go. Okay, you're going to continue to do that until you have your ring or your brim around your tumbler. And even if you need to take your clay tool just to help it stay stationary, which I did, just so that I can make sure that it was on my tumbler. And then you are going to go ahead and bake it in your oven. I bake mine at the lowest, you know, well, actually at 220 to between 200 and 220. Okay, I bake mine, and you just need to follow the you know, manufacturer's instructions. I would tell you guys, but everybody's oven is different. So I know that's one of the questions a lot of people ask, like how long should I bake it? What temperature should I bake it at? Honestly, do whatever it says on the package, because I could say that baking it at 220 works fine for me, and then you try it and it doesn't work for you. Okay, so again, you see me here just kind of, you know, blending and pushing this clay into the tumbler so I can go ahead and get it all the way around. Again, you'll see me later on get a little clay tool to do that. All right, you just want to take your time and, you know, get it to where you want it to be. You can find these clay tools on Amazon. It doesn't really matter which brand, honestly. There's so many different brands out there. I'll have the ones that I use, but there you can find them at Michael's. I would highly suggest Amazon though, because they're a lot cheaper and you can get a whole lot more. Okay, they do come in handy when you're trying to blend certain things you can do with your finger with no problem. But sometimes you're gonna need a tool, and it's like a rubber tip, like a silicone-ish rubber tip on the end of these little sticks, and each one has a different purpose. To be honest with you, I still am learning which one works best. I kind of use them to whatever I want to use them for. But you know, for this particular one, you can see it really did come in handy because I needed to blend in the clay with into the cup. Okay, and so I did take my X-Acto knife and I did cut because I need to, um, you know, merge both of those pieces together. All right, but yeah, I'm making um, a little fighter gnome. Okay, shout out to the Salted Thorn Studio. She is one of the first, to be honest, I want to say the first person who I saw bring gnomes to the Tumblr community. I could be wrong, so if you are one or know someone that is also one of the ones that brought the gnomes to the Tumblr community, good shout out to you, because they are such a fun um, addition to the Tumblr community. All the little things you can make, so much fun. Okay, you can go and follow her on social media um, at the Salted Thorn, and you can see all the fun ones that she makes. I believe she even has a YouTube channel here on YouTube. Okay, But again, as you see, I am just working it. I'm taking my time. I did not speed up a lot of the parts of this video because I wanted you to see in real time how long it took me. One thing about clay is, however it is before you bake it is how it's going to be after you bake it. So baking it doesn't change anything. So you see all of these little indentions and stuff. If I baked it just now, just like that, you would still see those afterwards. So what I can do to help aid in that is take a little bit of alcohol, and I can go ahead and wipe down and like blend in all of these little ridges, and that's what I'll do. I did have a alcohol spray bottle. You don't need as much alcohol as I actually used, but I did just take my spray bottle and start to spray around and use my finger to like rub, you know, these ridges out. Okay, alcohol kind of softens the clay, and it really does aid in your, you know, smoothing process. Okay, just make sure that before you bake it, you go ahead and you make sure the alcohol is dry, like it's completely dry. Don't put your cup in the oven um, with wet alcohol, okay? But yeah, I'm gonna continue to do that all the way around, guys. I mean, this is pretty much all I did, um, and I just continue to do that until I was satisfied with it. Now, I am using paint, acrylic paints, and I am using glitter, and of course, I am sealing all this with epoxy, so it didn't have to be as perfect, if that makes sense. If you are going to be just painting this, yeah, you need to make sure that everything is great. But if you're using glitter, glitter is a great camouflage sometimes for imperfections. So although I can still see some of the ridges and stuff like that, I am not too concerned because I'm going to be covering that up. Okay. Again, once this was done, I went ahead and baked it, and then we'll be on to the next step. Okay, nothing special here. This is when it just came out. You want to make sure that it is completely hard. I am taking some of this paint. I didn't have any regular white acrylic paint, so I'm taking this Deco Fluid Art. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and base spray paint my entire tumbler. I honestly do not know why polymer clay responds to um, spray paint in a negative way, but you can find that it can become gummy. So the experts honestly suggest that you go ahead and use acrylic paint. Okay, so I'm just going to base spray paint. I'm going to base paint or hand paint this entire tumbler with white acrylic paint. One thing I love about creating is the fact that there's so many different ways to make something beautiful. I love seeing so many of the Tumblr artists out there take, you know, unconventional materials and use them to make something really, really pretty. And so what I decided to do was, once this tumbler was dry, meaning this paint was dry, I went ahead and got this beautiful tissue paper that I have had just sitting there forever. And I went ahead and decided to use this and make this gnome have flowers. So if you're using a napkin for this, you can use a napkin or you can use tissue paper. If you're going to use a napkin, you're going to need to tear away the second ply, I guess you would call, like the first and then the second ply, you want to tear that away. But if you're using tissue paper, there's only one ply and you don't have anything to tear away. I decided to go ahead and cut it. Laying it down on my tumbler gave me lots of wrinkles, so I decided just to cut the flowers and position them where I wanted them to be. And it came out very beautifully. I used the ends of the tissue paper, like right there where it had flat edges, to be, at the top or the bottom of the tumbler. And I just continued to do that. Nothing special here, guys. I just continued to add, you know, the flowers wherever I saw fit. You'll see later on that I went ahead and used this flower tissue paper on the boxing gloves as well as the shoes and as well as the topper, just to kind of make everything look so cohesive. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys watch that. And if you guys ever have any questions, you could ask them in the comment section. I try my best to respond to you here. You could also come over to our Facebook group, okay, where, we are growing. We just hit 300 members. Very proud of that. And you could ask any questions about the tutorials there. I'm also on social media. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Sculptistry Squad. I'm juggling a lot, so sometimes I forget to check my social media platforms, but I am always on Facebook, so you can always reach me there, okay? And really quickly, because I'm gonna go ahead and just let you guys watch this, but in this little bottle, a little ketchup bottle, is Mod Podge. So I am going to be adding Mod Podge to the cup and then adding the tissue paper rows on top. Then I'm actually going to be taking a little bit more Mod Podge. You just want to be careful that you don't rip it, okay? So, make sure your brush is wet and not dry, okay? But that's what I'll be doing. So basically, Mod Podge to hold it down, and then Mod Podge to seal it in. Okay, so for the tumbler, I had to paint it white, and then other roses for the topper, it comes white. So all of my pieces, if you go on my website, you will see they're all white, okay? And by choice, I choose to use a white PLA, which is a type of plastic that is used to create these items, so that you guys can add your own color and bring it to life. So nothing special here. Again, all I'm doing is taking the Mod Podge and I am adding it to the topper, and then I'm going to take the tissue paper and I'm going to place it down wherever I feel like it looks best. Okay. Okay, so I chose to add some pink accents. So the ball of the hat, along with the ribbons and some other places, I just chose to add some pink accents. So I'm taking some acrylic paint and I'm painting over those. Although I am going to be using glitter, I wanted a pink base so that it shined very nicely. And I'm just taking my time and putting a lot of TLC and love into this project. Okay, this had a lot of meaning to me. Right before this, project came out, I found out that a friend of mine in the Tumblr community um, had battled and won, um, her breast cancer journey. And, it just goes to show that you really never know what someone else is going through. I'm very thankful and humbled that she shared her story with me, her testimony. And it really touched my heart because you just, again, never know what someone is going through. And you know who you are if you're watching and you listen to this. Just want you to know that you really inspired me. Um, and I'm very thankful that you are here. And I want you to know that you are loved and cared for and thought of every day. Okay. And so I really took my time to add a lot of the little details into this Tumblr because it really meant a lot to me. And I hope that you all do too. Okay. So don't worry about that bottom there. I'll fix that later. But my roses are dry. I added some leaves in some spots that were empty. And what I want to do now is make sure that my topper and my Tumblr, it kind of matches up because, I'm adding the roses separately and I'm like, I wonder if it adds up, meaning blends well. And it blended well enough. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. And all that is for me at that point is just painting the little accents. Okay, so the ball of the hat, again, the breast cancer ribbon, as well as the brim of the hat, I wanted to paint pink. Okay, I wanted a different um, color from the tumbler to the brim. Okay, so I'm just taking my time and doing all of that. And, you guys share your stories in the comments. I'm quite sure there are so many women who have a story of a loved one, or you may have battled, this yourself. And, just want you to know that, you know, hopefully they find a cure soon. um, and do all that we can do. There's a lot of things that we can't do, but we can donate, we can support, we can spread awareness, a lot of things that we actually can do to stand in the fight against breast cancer. Okay, as well as getting our annual mammograms. um, so take care of you. Okay, we take care of everyone else as women, um, but we need to make sure we take care of ourselves. Since launching the 3D printing company, I have been going. One of the things that I was afraid of was not being able to fulfill orders quick enough. So, I'm still growing as a company, but I have been going, not getting the proper rest, not eating well. And I was just thinking that I was a robot, that I could continue to just go. And my body quickly told me, oh no, you need some rest. And I came down with this really nasty bug. I'm still kind of getting over it. So sorry if you hear that in my voice. I kind of just wanted to get this tutorial out because it was supposed to be out last week. Um, but I was just kind of under the weather. So But I say that to say that you get, again, take care of yourself. As women, again, we just really take care of everyone else. And it's a wonderful thing that we are able to multitask that well. Um, but we neglect ourselves. And in the process, we neglect ourselves. So um, I'm going to ask, have you eaten today? Have you drank anything today? Did you rest today? So that we can stay along and get to still take care of the people who we love. Um, we can't take what they say, you can't fill up anyone else's cup or something like that from an empty cup or something. Y'all know what I'm saying. But the bottom line is take care of you, okay? And so I am painting this brim. I'm using those little paintbrushes. I really love these paintbrushes. They are my OGs. I use them for when I'm having to apply epoxy to something sometimes, or if I have to do some type of detailed painting. They are cheap and affordable, and I can get them in bulk on Amazon. They will be linked in the description as well. Okay, and this pink color matches the roses so perfectly, which I loved. Again, I will be using glitter just to camouflage all of those imperfections that I see, but it still is going to look very well and not take away from um, it won't be too busy. Okay, I will say this, being that I used Mod Podge, um, the acrylic paint started to crackle, the crackle method that tumbler makers do. It did start to crackle, so I did have to do a second layer, which is no biggie. But after I did that, I went ahead and added the glitter. So the next part you'll see is me adding the glitter onto the tumbler. This glitter is from Glitz and Glam. It is an absolutely beautiful white glitter. It has some blue undertones, like maybe it's like an iridescent blue undertone. Um, it is a it is a 0.15 mix, which is my favorite size of glitter. I do like chunky glitter. I'm not a fan of extra fine glitter for some reason. Y'all tell me if y'all which size y'all are a fan of. I do like the chunky mixes, especially like if you're doing a two-tone cup, or you're doing that burst in the middle. I do like the chunky mixes, but the extra fine, um, I prefer the 0.15. It gives me better coverage. Okay, so I'm going to be using that. The actual color of this glitter, and all the details of where you can get it will be also linked in the description part of this video. Okay, so this next part, all I'm doing is just taking some glue, and I'm going to add it to the pink parts. To be honest with you, I'm not sure why I did it this way, because I clearly could have just added some glitter into the epoxy and it would have given me the same method or the same outcome. I don't know why I did it this way. So, learn from me. You don't have to separate it. Maybe I didn't think I was going to add glitter all the way around yet. I'm not sure. But you can just go ahead and add glitter straight into your epoxy and then add it to your topper or tumbler. Okay. And here I'm just adding some glitter. Again, I'm using this beautiful white glitter from Glitz and Glam, and I found that it gave this the most beautiful shine ever. And again, I added it to the ribbon as well. And to tie it all together, I went ahead and I am using the same glitter to apply to the cup. Okay, I'm gonna actually apply it on the pink part too, the pink and the white, not up top. Um, and I'm just applying this liberally, um, and I'm gonna continue to do that until it is all beautifully done. Okay, I'm actually using gem tack. I didn't have regular glue. I normally use Tack It. I don't even use Mod Podge anymore. Um, but I need to check out some of the other vendors. I don't know if you guys know Crystal with, I want to say it's adhesive apothecary. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but she has a really awesome adhesive company, and I want to shout her out because I will be ordering from her. I've heard that her adhesives do wonderful things. She has a whole bunch of things. Y'all go check her out. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish doing this and glitter it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and seal this in with Rust-Oleum clear coat, because I don't want my glitter to move. And once that's done, I'll be ready to go ahead and put this bad boy onto the tumbler turner, and I will be able to add my first layer of epoxy, which I will be using Fast Set by Counterculture DIY. Okay, so again, I just added it to my turner. Like I told you in the beginning, I went ahead and um, added, you know, this tissue paper onto the shoes. I went ahead and added it onto the boxing gloves. I painted them. All of the pieces I am sealing separately. Okay, so the tumbler with the glitter, I'm sealing separately. The hat, I'm sealing separately. The gloves and the shoes, I'm sealing separately. And then I'm going to go ahead and add all of those pieces onto my tumbler, and then I'm going to add my final coat of epoxy. I'm adding a very liberal amount of epoxy. I really want to make sure that I have good coverage here. I am pressing it into the glitter, and I am, continuing to smooth it on. If I have any pooling, usually that happens like, right around the rim of the gnome hat. I will just take my finger and remove some of the excess, and put it back in my cup. Okay, I'm going to use this same epoxy to go ahead and seal in the hat. Okay, I use a very thin coat on the hat, and again, all the other pieces. Okay, and after all of that hard work, it is time that we take a minute to um, revel in the beauty of what we have created. We have this beautiful tumbler with the rim, the colors of the glitter. This is one glitter. Again, it's by Glitz and Glam. It will be in the description bar. You see how me using it on a white base is beautiful, but using it on a pink base is pretty as well. Um, and we have our roses on our tumbler and our topper. So all of the work that we did to cut out those roses paid off. It looks very nicely. Okay, we have our boxing gloves, and we have them ready to add to our tumbler, and we have our little booties. Okay, again, this is a 16-ounce wine tumbler. Um, this tumbler, this kit could be used on a straight tumbler. In the kit, you get two different sizes of shoes, so you could use the smaller size or the larger size. I go over that in the Facebook group, okay? But the first thing we're gonna do is adhere them. So if you've watched any of my tutorials before, you will see that I use hot glue sometimes to add, pieces on, or UV resin, because basically I'm just using it as a temporary hold, not a permanent hold. I'm still gonna have to seal all of this in with another layer of epoxy. So in my mind, there's no need on using another type of glue when I could just use some hot glue. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my hot glue. I will say, as you probably already know if you watch my videos, my hot glue gun is, I mean, look at her. She's gone through it, okay? But she works. I do leave her on sometimes, so that's why she has that yellow, burnt looking, you know, tinge to her. But I'm just taking my shoes. I got them positioned where I want them on the bottom of my tumbler, and I'm just adding some glue to that part. I'm going to do that on this, on the left side. I'm going to do it on the right side. And then once I have it, then I'm going to make sure that the glue is covered. Okay. And then once I really, figure it out, if there's any gaps, I'm going to fill that in with a little bit of hot glue. And then I'm going to add my other pieces. Okay. Again, in the kit, you could choose to use the smaller shoes, and you don't have to use this as the, as feet at the bottom. You could do it as if she's sitting down and she's kicking her feet up. There's a lot of different ways that you can do gnomes. I would suggest, if you're interested in seeing some really great gnomes, going on Pinterest and typing in some gnomes, and you will find so many different styles. Okay. And so once I have all of this done, I mean, other than that, it's kind of self-explanatory at this point. Um, I'm just making sure that all the pieces are on there good and snug, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the gloves. Okay, the gloves, again, I am just gonna position them to where I think they should go, and spacing them apart to where the Wonder Woman sign can fit in between the two gloves. Okay. And after that, I am gonna hot glue the Wonder Woman sign on. I am going to hot glue the gloves on. I am going to hot glue the nose on. Okay. Um, and then I'm going to again seal this in as one final layer of epoxy. All right, so we're getting ready for the removable topper. If you have seen any of my videos before, I have done this exact same process. I'm using a total of 4 magnets. Okay, so although there are 4 slots on the um, gnome topper, you don't have to use all 4 slots. I'm using 2, and on the lid I'm using 2 as well. I went ahead and marked, you see those dots with the uh, Sharpie, I went ahead and marked it, okay, and I'm just adding my magnet onto my lid, letting that cure. Once that cures, I'm going to add the other magnet. Again, I learned the hard way, don't try to do both at the same time, they're going to click together, it's going to be a mess. So just do one at a time, let that one cure, do the other one, and then you'll have your 2 magnets on your lid. Okay. Um, and I am just using UV resin that I purchased from Michaels. It does hold up okay, but there, like I said, there are several great UV resin brands on the market that I would highly suggest you getting and using if you are going to be doing a lot of removable toppers. Okay. And then once this is cured, you want to make sure that you have your whatever side, positive or negative side. What you don't want to do is add, all of your pieces together and then you realize that you have the magnets on the wrong side. Okay. um, it is one of the things that we sometimes forget about. And I'm taking Bob's 15 mid cure epoxy and I'm going to add a drop of A and a drop of B inside of my removable topper slots. And then I'm going to add my magnet. And once that cures, then I will be able to um, stick it on there, make sure everything works out good, and, take her outside for her photo shoot. I chose to add some glitter into this epoxy. I wanted all of this beautiful glitter all over this tumbler. So I chose to add some glitter, so you see that I'm not epoxying her nose right away because I didn't want her to have a glittery nose. But again, I am applying this liberally all around, the nooks and crannies. I will even take a paintbrush and I make sure that I get in between any spots. But being that I went ahead and epoxied these pieces separately, I'm good to go. You see what I'm saying? Because if I hadn't epoxied these pieces separately, then there may be some spots that I might have missed. But because they were epoxied separately, um, I'm all good. So that is important. Go ahead and take the time to do your pieces separately, and then add them onto your already epoxy tumbler. Okay. So this final coat actually is not my final coat because I have to do her nose. But this almost final coat is great. Okay. It is just me making sure that all the pieces that were adhered with hot glue are not going anywhere. Okay. And once you're done with this, you want to let this cure for the time, whatever your time period is for this. And in my environment, it's about 2 hours for this CCDIY's fast set. So it's about 2 hours. But that is pretty much it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. Here she is in all of her glory. I was trying to wait for a sunny day, but there is a overcast, um, but she's still so beautiful. I hope this inspires you to create a gnome. And again, if you're interested in purchasing the kit from me, you can find it on sculptistry.com. This kit is a perk for my subscribers. So a shout out to you if you are one of my subscribers. I thank you for your support. It is only $25 a month, and with that price point, you receive number one, a box. You receive a box to delivered directly to your door. Each month we have a different theme, and secondly, you get a specific coupon code that you can use on the website. You also get access to purchase, previous boxes. So if you are interested in this box, you need to subscribe, and then you'll have access to purchase it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and thank you for supporting me. My channel is growing, and I appreciate all of the new people that I am able to connect with. Please leave me a comment in the video and let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you didn't. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.